I was on my way to Manhattan into work one day, and we were in a crowded subway. It was 9:30 in the morning. I took the E train from Port Authority bus terminal all the way over to 53rd and 3rd, and that's where my building was. It was right across from the Lipstick building. Just south of it was a big black building. Can't remember the address, but that's where I used to work at Debevoise in Plimpton. I actually was a temp there, so I never really was an employee at all, just a temp, and I made all my money, and I learned how to become a lawyer there. So I'll save that story for another time about all the interesting things that went on in that place and what I learned. And this was in the 80s, so this was the mergers and acquisitions and poison pills and white knights, and all this got invented at kind of in the 90s. All these big businesses and corporations trying to swallow each other up. So I'm on my way to work, and if you come out of that bus, that subway station, it's one of the longest, escalators I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I've ridden on my share of them, and this thing, it'll take you about, just to stand on that and go up. I mean, it's probably close to 3 minutes to get you to the top. I'm just guessing, but it's really, really the longest one I know of in Manhattan. It goes way, way, way down. And so I got off the subway, and I got my backpack in front of me. You don't put it in back of you like that, because someone will unzip it and start stealing your stuff. So I got this thing in front of me, and this black gentleman, quite a gentleman, says, "Who's grabbing my ass? Who's grabbing my ass?" Well, geez, my friend, I'm not looking to grab anybody's ass, especially yours. So I got on that thing, and this guy started looking at me, and he says, and so he pointed me out. "You did this. You grabbed my ass. You grabbed me." Well, all the way up this escalator, he said, "I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you as soon as I get to that top of me. You a dead mother." He's screaming and screaming at me, right? Not loud, but just saying this over and over. Now, everybody on that escalator started turning around, looking and see what's going on here, because he was being loud. And he was telling me that my life was going to end right when I got to the top of the escalator. And I was thinking, I don't think I want my life to end right now, so I'm going to fight back, of course. So I'm not going to try to reason with him. This was not a reasonable person. Again, this is probably like late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there. And so I was, pretty scared. So I always took a little pen with me, and not quite like this, but it had a really super sharp tip. It was a Sharpie, and you would take it off, but it was metal. And I got them at the law firm. I always had them there, and it was metal, and it was a very sharp. It was a fine point. So this was my weapon. Okay, so I took the handle off and put it like this, and now I got this weapon, and I'm standing there. So I'm like this with this pen. And this guy is telling me every inch of the way, every moment this long journey up, that he's going to kill me when we get to the top. And I'm like, I'm not having any of this, And these people are all watching back down here. He would not stop. Very nice guy, sure, very nice guy. And so I had this, and everybody could see me doing this. So we got to the top. I said, "You know what I'm going to do here? I could see him out the corner of my eye, and I was watching him to see if he was going to make any moves at me. And so I just kept going up and didn't say a word, didn't look back, just kept him out of the corner of my eye. I traveled all over the world, so I was pretty suspicious, and I knew how to watch my back. So I learned early on to literally always be looking around, looking behind me. I do it to this day. I go into a bathroom, I'm looking who's behind me all the time. I never broke that habit. It's just a habit. And so we got to the top, and the guy didn't do anything, but he followed me. So then we went around the corner, we went in, and there was another escalator. This one was wide enough for one person, so you'd go up on that second escalator, and then you would come into my building, okay? So he kept it up, now all the way to the top, and then he got up to the top, and we were going to go into my building, so I went in there. Now, I didn't go to the escalator, or to the elevators like I normally would have, because I didn't want to know I didn't want this guy to know where I worked. He'd be waiting for me the next day. He'd be waiting for me when I got out. Who knows? This is some nut job. and young guy, just 20 something, who knows. And I was in my late 30s, sorry, late 20s, early 30s maybe, and so he says, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker, you what motherfucker, he's using all this racial tone and all this racial language and everything, and so pretty soon I just kind of peeled off and went to the left, and I left the building and walked out just to make sure he wasn't behind me. But there, that was pretty scary. And I thought I was really going to have to kill this guy, because I was going to stab him in the throat and in the eyes, and then I was going to run as fast as I could. That was my plan. Luckily, nothing happened. I lived in New York during the time of Bernard Goetz, and that guy shot 4 black guys who were trying to, either kill him or take his money, whatever. They had knives and sharpened screwdrivers. His big mistake was he told somebody what he did. So I wasn't going to end up that guy. And then I have another story that's even more crazier. And man, I'll tell you about that one sometime. That was my last day in New York. Wow.